Welcome, 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 everyone. It's Thursday, April 11th, 2024. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and also the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. A lot to squeeze into these 55 minutes here on the lunch break, the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. I'm going to start backwards and say this because this is just another example of Houston Cougars women's basketball stealing my thunder, stealing my joy of covering women's college basketball. I'm thankful. I'm happy to say that other programs have restored my joy in covering women's college basketball. But off the jump, and this is no shade on this young lady, okay? This is more a reflection of the program at Houston Cougars women's basketball and who's in charge. Ashely Chevalier announced she has transferred to Houston, I think it's on Tuesday, earlier this week. She first played at Texas. Then she transferred to Texas Tech. And now she's transferred to Houston. Here are Ashely Chevalier's points per game. Corey Miller, thank you, my man. You might be right. We're going to talk about that in this show as well. Ashely Chevalier, her freshman year, 2.9 points per game. Then she redshirted. In 2022-23 season, 1.3 points per game. This past season, 23-24 season, 2.8 points per game. Texas Tech faced Houston 3 times this past season. Once in December, all games in the Big 12. Once in December, once in January, and then once in March, the first day, day one of the Big 12 Women's Basketball Championship. Ashely, total, Corey Miller, totaled in the 3 games. Totaled 12 points. 5 points, 4 points, 3 points. She's coming to a program where the head coach, who I won't name much longer, I mean, I'm probably giving more shine than they really deserve right now. Well, the head coach said, we don't have enough Big 12 players. Well, officially, she is another Big 12 player because she started at Texas, then transferred to Texas Tech, and now coming to Houston. You combine her averages, points per game, 2.9, 1.3, 2.8. That's 7. 7. But 2.9, 1.3, 2.8, that's points per game per season in her career. Coming to Houston, a team that lacks scorers. Make it make sense to me, Corey Miller. Make it make sense to me, Rex 32. Make it make sense to me, Willie Gibson, Miss Wanda. Everybody watching on the platforms on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Fire TV, Twitch, and of course on Roku via the BS3 Network. Reminder, if you're new, this is new to you. But if you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If not, just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. CA37, thank you as well for your comment. I wish. I'd love for that to happen. I'd love for Coach Edmonds to stay in town and go from Rice to Houston. But why? Why should she? She gets more support from the administration at Rice than she would at Houston. I'm not sure the administration at Houston knows what's going on in women's basketball or cares. And I'm going to say this. We're going to talk about the good basketball program at Houston, the men's team, in this show. But I'm getting this stuff out of the way. I was in Cleveland for the women's Final Four the last few days. the comments I heard, Chris, what is up with Houston women's basketball? Chris, what are they doing at Houston? What are they doing at your alma mater? What is going on with Houston women's basketball? Do they not know what's going on? Are they not paying attention? Did not realize that 4 more teams are joining the conference in July? Will make it even harder for Houston to be the top half in the Big 12. There'll be 16 teams in the Big 12 starting July 1st. I found this out day 1 of the basketball championship. 9 through 16 will play. Top 8 won't play till, probably middle 4, whatever, day 2, day 3, quarterfinals, etc. But day 1, Miss Donna, how are you? Thank you very much, as always, for watching the show. It was posed to me, Chris, what are the odds? What would you say the odds are that the women's team, the Houston Cougars women's team, is going to play on day 1? In other words, finish 9 through 16. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's obvious that's going to happen. Yet I don't know if Chris Pesman, if it's obvious to him. He's spending more time on football, and he rightfully should, and trusting the wrong folks with women's basketball, which is a big mistake. She's still in charge. I guess she's still convinced that this coach is going to turn things around, bringing in a 2.9 points per game scorer. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. But my joy and passion for women's college basketball was restored, has been restored, is being restored. I'm not going to play the clip. I interviewed South Carolina's forward, Chloe Kitts. South Carolina won the championship. They defeated Iowa. And real quick, if you didn't know, the ratings numbers, look at the ratings numbers. Look at the ratings numbers for the Iowa-Carolina game. 18.9 million. More, 4.1 million more than watching UConn beat Purdue. 18.9 million people tuned in to watch Iowa, South Carolina. Yes, part of that is the Caitlin Clark effect. Clearly, obviously, that's part of it. But if you're one of those 18.9 million who watched the game, throughout that game, if you're being honest with yourself, if you follow women's college basketball, especially Houston, at any point during that game, did you think, wow, the Cougars can really compete with these two teams? Hell no. Of course you didn't. Of course not. But after the game, I spoke with Chloe Kitts. Chloe had 11 points, 10 rebounds in 17 minutes, a double-double. I talked to her for about 90 seconds, 90 to 100 seconds. Last I saw, that conversation on TikTok had over 50,000 views. On YouTube, it's 22,000 views. That's 72,000 views for a 90-second interview with Chloe Kitts, a lesser-known player for the Gamecocks. 72,000. I don't know how long it would take, how many videos, Houston Cougars women's videos, it would take to add up to 72,000. Then I posted my conversation with one of the Gamecocks assistant coaches, Winston Gandy. He was on the Rice Owls women's staff under Tina Langley from 2017 to 2020 before joining Duke. And then he joined the Gamecock staff last April. He's been there a year. Dawn Staley gave him props after the game, speaking to Holly Rowe. She gave Coach Gandy credit for the defensive game plan against Caitlin Clark in Iowa. That interview, 15,000 on TikTok, almost 5,000 on YouTube. An assistant coach at South Carolina, not Dawn Staley, first-year assistant coach at South Carolina, almost 20,000 views. And I had Gamecock fans ask me on YouTube if I was going to provide more videos. I said, unfortunately, no, but there will be more in the future because Texas is joining the SEC in July. And that means that most likely Carolina will be coming to Texas at least once a year to face either the Longhorns or the Aggies. Where do you think I'll be if that matchup is the same night or same day as the Houston Cougars women's basketball game? I wonder. Don't wonder. You know where I'll be if my car has gas in it and my car can get me there. There's no telling where. There's no reason to be at Houston women's basketball. None. So keep doing what you're doing over there, Chris Pesman, Dewana Chiser, Tillman. I don't think anybody's telling you what's going on or you're not paying attention. But y'all do that. I'll follow the teams that get eyeballs to my channels and my platforms and win championships. Go to the NCAA Tournament, a.k.a. Rice. But, man, my goodness. Going backwards, this was a few days ago. We'll get to the big news. No surprise at the big news, but a few days ago, Jamal Shead was named Naismith Defensive Player of the Year. Men's basketball, of course. Added to his awards, was named All-American, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Big 12 Player of the Year, on. All those great awards for Mr. Shead. Salute to him. He's the reason, Jamal was the reason that Coach Sampson attended the Final Four in Glendale, was to support Jamal. Today, about 2 hours ago, so you're watching live on the platforms, mostly 10 o'clock Central, maybe early, maybe 9:30, whatever. But my man, my colleague, Chancellor Johnson, KPRC2 Sports, posted it officially, his exclusive interview with Jamal, that Jamal is going pro, going to the NBA, declaring for the 2024 NBA draft. No surprise. No surprise whatsoever. Oh, let me get to this real quick. It was great. Being in Cleveland was great. Once I got out of my head, wow, Houston, nowhere near this. Nowhere near these teams. None of them. UConn, NC State, Iowa, South Carolina, it's like a different sport. What these ladies are doing compared to what Houston's doing. It was great. It's great to reconnect with colleagues hadn't seen in a while. Great to spend time at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I post a lot of those pictures on my Instagram at Houston Roundball Review Instagram. Spend a lot of time in the Jimi Hendrix area of the Hall of Fame. That's my dude, Jimi Hendrix. Spent time at the Prince exhibit as well. Janis Joplin. I had a good time. Me and my old head loves that music. But thank you to South Carolina. Thank you to Iowa. If you haven't seen, I posted pictures of post-game, pictures of the Iowa players, the Carolina players as well. All that's on Instagram at Houston Roundball Review. So thank them for helping restore my passion for women's college basketball, because locally, it's so bleak. So bleak. Earlier this week, on Monday, is it Monday? Monday. The first of the announcements came out. Juwan Roberts announced he's coming back. Gonna run it back. Come back for his COVID year. Go to YouTube, the Houston Roundball Review, to listen to what Juan said in its entirety to the media gathered on Tuesday. Juan came walking in to the court at the Guy V. Lewis Development Facility with crutches because he told us he had 4 days prior, so that would be the end of it, Friday or so last week. He had his right knee scoped to help fix the knee issues he went through this entire 23-24 season, which included having his knee drain, fluid off his knee drain every 3 or 4 weeks, honestly. So Juan talked about that. Also on earlier Tuesday, LJ Cryer announced he's coming back, going to come back. His interview with us is also posted on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. A clip of it is on the Houston Roundball Review Instagram page. Going to enlarge the screen, enlarge myself so you can see my shiny bald head as I say this. LJ mentioned to us during his on-the-record talk that he was not going to put his name in the NBA draft process for the NBA draft evaluation because it would not make sense this summer. He hinted at, but did not say what the reasoning was. Toward the end of the talk, I asked him how he felt physically. He kind of paused, smiled, said, I'm feeling okay. And I said, oh, you have any aches and pains? Yeah, I'm having some aches and pains. Off the record, he told Joseph Duarte, Chris Baldwin, and me he was going to have surgery on his left foot, which should have been yesterday, April 10th. He said he decided after the fact, he's like, yeah, I'm going to tell y'all now because, folks are going to see me around in a boot, getting around with the scooter and asking what's going on with LJ. So I'm going to tell y'all right now. I should have told you on camera. I'm going to tell y'all now. It will be his second surgery on his left foot. He's already had 2 surgeries on his right foot. But he believes this second surgery will correct the issues. It's similar, if anybody goes back long enough, Miss Wanda, you might, Rex, you might, similar to the foot problems that LJ Rose experienced. LJ Rose, ironically, different, same kind of path from Houston, went to Baylor, came back to Houston. But LJ Cryer says his recovery timetable is roughly 10 to 12 weeks. And he should be good to go for fall practice, training camp, etc., all that good stuff. No worries. I asked him if it was the foot problems ran in the family. LJ said no. He's the only one in his family to have had surgery. It's just, one of those things, bad luck, or his body just has to go through foot problems. It's not inherited. Dad doesn't have it. Brother, cousin, none of that. Mom, nothing. Wish him a healthy recovery. Juwan Roberts, his knee scope timetable for recovery is 4 to 6 weeks. So Juan should be good to go. But yesterday, Emanuel Sharp made it official. No surprise here. He's running it back. He's coming back. He wasn't even a question about him regarding COVID year stuff, but he made it official. I have not seen so far today if Javier Francis has made it official, announced anything like that. He's coming back, running back. A few days ago, Coach Sampson said in one of the press conferences in Glendale, in Phoenix, he said point blank to everyone, anybody listening, that 4 starters were coming back. 4 starters were coming back. Well, all of us knew Jamal Shead was going pro. So that left the 4 starters. LJ, Emanuel, Juwan, Javier Francis. So they're making it official. John Rothstein said on Tuesday, maybe this week, that Malik Wilson is going to return. Well, use his COVID year to return. I haven't seen that made official yet. It hasn't been posted on Malik's social platforms. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Malik wants to return. Malik's mom wants him to return. Okay. Back to this. If Malik returns, I got 14 players so far. 14. Cougs fan, thank you very much. We'll talk about that. All over the place on that one, too. All right. 14 players. Jacob McFarland, Kordel Jefferson, redshirted this past season, expected to come back. Obviously, they're going to play. You had the season-ending injuries to Terrence Arsenault and JoJo Tugler, plus the incoming freshmen, Chase McCarty and Mercy Miller. Returning, LJ Cryer, made official. Javier Francis, expected to make it official. Big Said Lot, John Roberts, made official. Emanuel Sharp, made it official. Jamal Shead's replacement. Who was that going to be? And then you see Ramon Walker and Malik Wilson. Malik Wilson has not made it official yet. But back to Jamal Shead's replacement. And 14 players, 13 scholarships. There is, so this has been confirmed by other coaches, especially in these days of NIL, for a player to not go on scholarship and basically pay his own way, but have the NIL pay his own way. So that is a possibility. Okay, that's a possibility. Another possibility is one of those 14 might not come back. Rex 32 says Ramon might walk. I don't know who's going to be. I don't know what they're going to do. I know what I saw Tuesday when we were waiting, it wasn't a long wait. But while we were speaking with Juwan Roberts, then LJ Cryer, Ramon Walker and Kordel Jefferson were working out with Coach Anthony Goldwire. And let me say that again. Ramon Walker and Kordel Jefferson working out with Coach Anthony Goldwire and working on dribble drives. Dribble drives with the left hand, attacking the basket and finishing at the rim, as well as perimeter shots. Not Ramon Walker working with the bigs. Ramon Walker working with the guards, working on his handles, working on getting to the hoop and finishing. Keep that in mind. As Cougs fan says, chatter, yep, I've heard it. Heard a lot of it. A lot of the last few days. Put this up. Milos and let me give credit to the folks who posted this news. So let me remove my ad banner. This is from On3. They got their own section of On3 Sports for the transfer portal. So Oklahoma guard, freshman guard, Milos Uzan, scheduled to make his visit this weekend, I think tomorrow, through Sunday. That was first mentioned to me on Monday that he was coming in for a visit. That same source told me about another player last week was coming to Houston, not just for a visit, just was going to sign with Houston coming from the portal. That did not happen. But Milos was a 4-star come out of high school, solid player, point guard, defender, maybe 9 points a game, 3 rebounds, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, something like that. Solid player. And he's young enough to grow within the Houston system and Houston program. I've heard other names. Folks kicked around a lot. I heard Wade Taylor from A&M was a possibility. I heard De'Don Thomas from UNLV was a possibility. I heard who was young man from Michigan was a possibility, and then young man from Harvard. Milos is the guy coming in for a visit. So that would seem to indicate, if everything goes well on his visit this weekend, that the choice will be his to commit to the Cougars. And Wade Taylor IV, he'd have to really surrender because he had the ultimate green light at A&M. That ain't gonna fly at Houston. Not gonna happen. But I'm not living and dying with who's gonna be the Jamal Shead replacement. I've heard too many names. I get texts every day, throughout the day. I heard it's gonna be so and so. I heard it's gonna be him. I heard it's gonna be this. It just got to a point. Let me know when it's official and it's done. I'm just, life's too short. I got a whole bunch of other things to get, like getting advertisers for this show, getting advertisers for all my shows, getting folks to support the Roundball review with some merch and all those kind of things, get more folks to watch the YouTube videos and everything like that. I need more Chloe Kitts content apparently on here to get thousands of views, things like that. So whoever Jamal's Shead replacement is, as Coach Sampson said in his media session last week, it's going to be a good guard. It's going to be a good player. I trust Coach Sampson. This is a risk. This point guard will be the first from the portal for Kelvin Sampson and the staff. Well, in this day and age, portal. Well, yeah, portal, because Dejan transferred from UMass. Was a different time, not so long ago. But 10 years, 3 point guards. Galen Robinson Jr., Dejan Giroux, Jamal Shead. Jamal Shead told me when he signed with Houston that his game was like Galen Robinson 2.0. And look at him now. Look at him now. But new point guard. And let me say this. This all ties in. In some of the way too early top 25s, I've seen a couple of publications have the Cougs as number 1. From 1 to 13. 13, I'm not like, what are y'all talking about? 13, that's just way too low. But 1 to 13. The Athletic, I think it was the Athletic, listed Cougs as, I think, 3, at number 3. And it was position, but it was. Portal point guard, LJ Cryer, Emanuel Sharp, Juwan Roberts, Javier Francis. That's what it was listed as. Portal point guard, Cryer, Sharp, Roberts, Francis. That's reality. Fran Fraschilla, ESPN, who I respect and got to meet a couple years ago. I'm not sure why Fran worded his tweet this way when it was, if I'm hearing what I think I'm hearing regarding Houston and point guard, Houston will be too deep at every position. Fran, don't you know what you're hearing? Huh? But yeah, the Cougs, if everybody comes back, Terrence Arstow included, I got some text about Terrence might leave. Well, Terrence leave, let Terrence leave. I don't think he will, but if he does, he does. The program will be fine without Terrence. Jamal and Mark left. Cougs are fine. Cougs fan says, we don't necessarily need a point guard to average 15 points per game, but agreed. That's it. Point guard here is not going to have to score a lot of points per game. Run the offense, have low turnovers, high assists, and play defense. Maybe a game or two, a game or a few during the season that the point guard will need to score a lot. But it won't be on a game-in, game-out basis. The offense is not built that way. Coach Sampson's team is not built that way. Bottom of the hour, just a little bit behind schedule, but bottom of the hour, you're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. The lunch break edition, Throwback Thursday edition, but it's the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, powered by JM&E, streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, Fire TV, YouTube, and of course on Roku via the BS3 Network. Going to play this promo for 90 seconds to give you an idea of what BS3 Network is all about. Be back in 90.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover on the lunch break, powered by JM&E and also the BS3 Network. I am, of course, KG Chris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, no worries. Just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Talking Coogs, talk Coogs, the first part of the show. First part to talk about the Hugheys. And then the majority of the first segment of the show about men basketball at Houston, transfer, Jamal Shead, things of that sort. These final moments, going to talk some local area transfer news and some WNBA news as well. First up, former Rice Owls guard Mekhi Mason has announced and committed that he's going to Washington, part of UW. The Huskies will be in the Big Ten starting on July 1st. Good luck to Mekhi. He was back, was it Conference USA? He's a sophomore, so 2 years ago. He made all CUSA freshman team. Had a 30-point game this past season in the American when he was named the American Conference Player of the Week. 6'4", 6'5" guard. A little bit of everything. Won the offense, score, defend. Wish him good luck at UW. Next, Keanu Dawes, Houston area product, announced he's transferred from Rice to Utah. We'll see him in the new Big 12 as the Utes join the Big 12 officially on July 1st. Mentioned KD for two reasons. One, Houston high school kid, played at Rice, but he's also a two-time finalist of the Guy V. Lewis Award. So wish him well. And speaking of Guy V. Lewis Award finalists, winners, Mr. P.J. Haggerty from Crosby High School. He won the Guy V. Lewis Award in 2022. He redshirted at TCU after 6 games, transferred to Tulsa, and was named Freshman of the Year by most of the national publications. Decided to transfer within the AAC and transferred to Memphis. Wish him the best of luck. As a member of the Guy V. Lewis Award Committee, once you are part of the family, you are in the family. You are part of Guy V. Lewis Award Committee, family, membership forever. So good luck to KD and PJ Haggerty as well. Oh, and I'm sure Rice is going to lose some more than that. I think. Those are the two guys that I know have committed elsewhere. But wish them the best of luck. Coach Rob Lanier, new head coach at Rice, going to bring in his own kind of talent, own kind of players, and help, hopefully, in his mind, turn things around at Rice. I love to see at one point in my lifetime, Houston Cougars, Rice Owls, Texas Southern, and by a massive miracle, Houston Christian all make the tournament, the same tournament. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Lately it's been maybe TSU, Coach Jones, and Houston, Coach Sampson. But get Rice on that winning track. Rice men have not made the tournament, I think, since 1970. I think that's right. Something like that. Long time ago. Long time ago. But hopefully all the 4 programs can turn things around if needed, if it applies, like at Rice and at HCU. Bumped into the new head coach at the Rockets game on Tuesday. And HCU will announce their new staff, finalize the new staff next week. The Houston Showcase, alas, that's the new coach is in town. It might change. I doubt it, though. Coach Pera, former coach at Rice, he was all for it. Coach Jones, not really in favor of it. Coach Sampson, not really either. So don't hold your breath on that one, Rex, unfortunately. Alan Tran, how are you? Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review. Takeover of the lunch break, powered by JM&E. Tran, real quick, I'm going to talk WNBA for the next few minutes, but real quick, I want to show this to you. This stellar addition to the Houston Cougars women's basketball program, Miss Ashely Chevalier. Tran, you'll love this, Tran. You will love these numbers that Ashely put up her first 3 seasons in college basketball. I'm being very, very sarcastic. Very much so. Her first year at Texas, Ashely averaged 2.9 points per game. Next year, she redshirted, then transferred to Texas Tech and averaged 1.3 points per game. In this past season, she averaged 2.8 points per game. Yeah, that's the player Ronald Hughey got from the portal. A young lady who averaged did not average her first years in hooping in the Big 12 more than 3 points a game. And then the 3 times Tech played Houston this year, Ashely scored a total of 12 points. Total 12 points. I digress. All right. WNBA news, and wrap it up with some Rocket news, maybe. Playoffs, whatever. But WNBA will begin to really embrace the Caitlin Clark effect. It's already here. It's already here based on this schedule. Wednesday, the WNBA announced the schedule of games to be broadcast and streamed nationally during the 2024 regular season, which will tip off Tuesday, May 14th and run through Thursday, September 19th. The TV and streaming schedule for the league's 28th season features matchups across ESPN platforms, 25 games, including 9 on ABC, 14 on ESPN, and 2 on ESPN2. And also CBS Television Network / Paramount Plus, 8 games. CBS Sports Network, 12 games. Ion Network, Ion Television, 43 games. NBA TV, 40 games. And Prime Video, 21 games. Additional info will be made available regarding Meta's 20-game broadcast schedule and the schedule for other distributors. Here comes the Caitlin Clark effect. Check this out. This will be the next slide, but build up to it. In addition, ESPN platforms ABC, ESPN2, and ESPN, now in their 28th year of WNBA coverage, will broadcast every game of the WNBA playoffs, which will feature up to 27 games, including the WNBA Finals. The 2024 WNBA TV and streaming schedule will feature all 12 WNBA teams. Boy, I wish I were back in Houston, but I digress. With a significant focus on the Indiana Fever. I wonder why. Oh, yes. The Indiana Fever will have the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, which takes place this coming Monday, April 15th. So, Fever, a lot of games featuring the Fever, as well as 2-time defending WNBA champ Las Vegas Aces, New York Liberty, Dallas Wings, and Phoenix Mercury. Indiana, which is positioned to add the number 1 overall selection in the the 2000 WNBA draft, the Caitlin Clark draft, to a roster that features 2023 WNBA Rookie of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, will have 36 of its 40 games featured by the WNBA's national broadcast and streaming partners. That's 90%. The Fever will be featured 8 times across ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2, 8 times on Ion, and twice on the CBS TV network. In addition, Indiana will be featured 13 times on NBA TV, 4 times on Prime Video, and once on CBS Sports Network. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. Las Vegas looks to become the first team to win 3 consecutive WNBA titles since the Houston Comets won the league's first 4 championships from 1997 to 2000. And I was there for all those home games. I was a Houston Comets season ticket holder before getting a media pass the third year and covering the Comets and women's hoops. Regarding the Aces, with a roster featuring two-time WNBA MVPs A'ja Wilson and Grandma Candace Parker. I can say that to her because I've known her forever. 2023 All-Stars Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, and Jackie Young. And the 2023 WNBA Sixth Player of the Year, Alicia Clark. The Aces will make the second most appearances across all platforms at 35. New York, which reached the WNBA Finals and won the WNBA Commissioner's Cup last season, behind 2023 WNBA MVP Breanna Stewart, Stewie, 2021 WNBA MVP Jonquel Jones, 2023 All WNBA Second Team Selection Sabrina Ionescu, and seven-time WNBA Assist Leader Courtney Vandersloot will have the third most games, 31, presented by the league's broadcast and streaming partners. Las Vegas and New York will meet three times during the regular season, once each on ABC, CBS TV Network, and ESPN. Dallas, led by Arike Ogunbowale, the only player in WNBA history to rank among the top 5 scorers in each of her first 5 seasons. That's impressive. And 2023 WNBA Most Improved Player Satu Sabally will appear 25 times across the league's platforms. Phoenix, led by WNBA career points leader Diana Taurasi, 9-time All-Star Brittany Griner from H-Town, and new additions in 2021 WNBA Finals MVP Kalia Copper and 2-time WNBA All-Defensive Team selection Natasha Cloud also will be featured 25 times. Looking forward to that. But I hopefully catch some games in Las Vegas, hopefully, or maybe Dallas. But yes, WNBA draft, the Caitlin Clark draft will be Monday, April 15th, when Indiana will make it official. And I wonder how long it'll take once Commissioner Kathy Engelbert says Indiana is on the clock. A minute, 5 seconds, 30 seconds. How long will it take for the commissioner to say, with the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select from Iowa, Caitlin Clark. Ratings should be pretty good for that one. Yes, Dran, we know it's official. Jamal not coming back. Touched on that earlier. Touched on Milos making a visit as well. And if things go well with his visit this weekend, I think it'll start Friday. I think he'll be in town on Friday and leave Sunday. Milos may announce his commitment to the Cougs next week. We shall see, as the new point guard, the portal point guard, or as I say, the Jamal Shead replacement. And of course, no one can really, there is no Jamal Shead, no other Jamal Shead. There's only one. But as long as that point guard, whoever it is, limits turnovers, plays good defense, and gets a good number of assists per game, the Cougs will be fine, as we all know. It's a good question, and that's where I'm going right there. That's why I don't want to be bombarded with texts anymore about who's going to be. Just trust Kelvin Sampson. Just do that. It'll make it, your life will be so much simpler if you just trust Coach Sampson on that one. In these final 5 minutes or so of the show, it's a great question. Why doesn't anybody want the Kentucky job? I mean, it's a football school. Coach Cal took the money and went to Arkansas and wanted to get away from all the headache of Big Blue Nation. And that's part of it. This part of it there as well. It is toxic. Not sure the AD wants to get really involved in NIL. even though it's here and it's here to stay for the time being until Congress / the NCAA presidents make changes. So I'm not sure who that's going to be. Who wants that job? It'll pay well, but maybe not as well as people think. And maybe the pay is not enough to deal with that fan base. As Rex says, and as Strand says, it's toxic. It's those fans up there, Kentucky, eat, sleep, breathe, big blue nation. So I'm not sure who's going to take the job. Wish them well. But I touched on this a little bit and how the way too early looks, predictions, top 25, the composite polls. I've seen UH men's hoops as high as 1 in the poll and as low as 13. Like I said, 13 is just way too low, in my opinion. But I mean, it's April 11th, so it's okay. Whatever. On the flip side, everyone watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, powered by JM&E. The flip side, women's basketball, ESPN, and The Athletic. 6 Big 12 teams mentioned in their way too early top 25. 2 of them newcomers to the conference. Utah and I think Arizona. No mention of the Hugheys. No shock. Maybe it's a shock to Chris Pesman. Maybe it's a shock to DeWanda Chiser. Maybe it's a shock to President Couture. Maybe it's a shock to Tillman Fertitta. Probably not, because they don't care about what's going on at women's basketball at Houston. Yeah, I said it. I'll continue saying it. Iowa State, Big 12. Some predict Iowa State could get to the Final Four next year. Iowa State from the Big 12 in women's hoops. Iowa State, men and women's teams in both way too early looks at next season. Heck, Iowa State men's team is picked higher in some of the polls than the Houston Cougars men's team. Oh, and I'm looking forward to basketball on the men's side for sure in the Big 12. And oh man, let me see if I can bring this up. ESPN, Big 12 teams, men, Arizona, Baylor, BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, Iowa State, and Kansas, all in the way too early look. All. That's, 7? 7 teams, top 25. 7. Athletic has 6. Arizona, Baylor, BYU, Houston, Iowa State, and Kansas. Just looking so forward to Big 12 men's basketball. Not so much seeing the Hugheys, maybe seeing who the Hugheys play once conference play starts. But other than that, I won't spend much time over there with that team until a change is made. Not unless until a change is made. I got other teams and more views covering other teams. Tran, if you missed it, my interview with South Carolina forward Chloe Kitts. Tran, TikTok and YouTube combined over 70,000 views. It might take 3 years of Houston Cougar women's basketball videos to get 70,000 views, if not more than that. Think about that. So why would I spend my time covering the Hugheys? And that's what I refer to them now, the Hugheys. But wrapping it up, Rockets play tonight. 3 games left in their season. At Utah tonight, Portland tomorrow, and then wrap it up with the Clippers on Sunday. Clippers Mavs, first round matchup. That's locked. And amen here. Rex, you have the final word. Baseball and women's basketball really, truly need a change. But hey, Houston gave Todd Whitting a 3-year extension. And isn't baseball in last place in the conference? Make it make sense. People, just make it make sense. What is Houston administration doing? They say they want to compete for championships, yet they continue spending money on coaches who do not win or compete for championships. I don't know. I don't know. Y'all hear the frustration in my voice talking about my alma mater. But I'll be there this Saturday for the spring game, football. Going to show my face in the place there for a little bit because the Houston Roundball Review is more than hoops. As always, salute to everyone for your comments, your questions, taking time out of your lunch break to spend with me on the lunch break. Salute to you. And as always, support the Roundball Review. Spread the word about the Roundball Review. Spread the word about this show. Spread the word about the merch. Click on that shop button if you're watching on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Get you a mug, get you a cap, get you a hat, get you a shirt, get you a hoodie. All those great things, great ways to support the Houston Roundball Review. And remember this, as I wrap it up, the Houston Roundball Review. Since 1994. Local name, global perspective. Take care.
p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, with our mental health and wellness contributor, Aprilette Russell, as we discuss today's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.